What's going on, everyone? This is Michael Stewart-Isaacs.
And this is Shemekka, Ebony.
And this is your next edition of
Sunday Stacks.
Sunday Stacks back once again. We are always ready to bring good energy, good vibes. We've been working on some phenomenal episode choice, and we're just excited to bring it to you all today. I hope everyone is doing well out there in Sunday land. We want to make sure that you enjoy everything that we are bringing to you with Sunday Stacks. Our goal is to continue to empower you with new thoughts and new ways and new directions. So thank you for all our listeners for tuning in. We thank the Alive Podcast Network, our family and crew. We are always excited to continue to bring great content to the masses. So we are so grateful for our partnerships. Shemekka, you got anything you want to shout out or just tell the world why you just happy to be here at another edition of Sunday Stacks?
Oh, yes. I am so glad to be here to lift up and amplify ways that we can be stronger and better together. Here with Sunday Stacks, we always center family, community, and company, even in how we engage you all, the listeners. And we want to hear from you. We want to know what's going on with you. If you're looking for some leadership development and support, I do have a leadership group coming up. You can learn more at shemekkaebony.com. And if you are in the DEI spaces or person with lived experience expertise that is also identified as a community champion, we have a peer support group coming up starting in June. So definitely want to check us out virtually as we engage and build us up, not only in our working community, but dealing with ourselves, being stronger together.
I love how you continue to just make impact the first thing you always center in your work. You know, we are just out here just continuing to bring empowerment to our communities and really just making sure our family lives as a good example towards what that could be like. As second chance people, meaning that me and Shemekka have come from so much in our backgrounds that we're just always grateful to become overcomers, being people who are focused on what's possible. One thing I enjoy the most is being a motivational speaker and being able to just continue to speak across the country and virtually just to empower those that need it, those who are looking for words that they haven't heard strung together in a way that unlocks something powerful and magical in their world. So, you know, of course, with Sunday Stacks is brought to you by I Am Brilliant. It's a production between me and Shemekka. We continue to create empowerment series across the country, really just to bring the flavor and the energy. I Am Brilliant has started as a movement, a campaign of sorts that was just centered around community and really empowering people to bring out what Shemekka would call illumination, but I love to call the reboot. And so as a speaker, I Am Brilliant too has rebooted me to be someone who can take my 25-year story in entrepreneurship, take all the ups and downs as a troubled kid from Brooklyn and really find a way to create an impact speech that really empowers young people as well as adults who are looking to get themselves out of the traps of verbal beat ups such as mental health issues or all these other things we like to put on ourselves. We speak new words and new life into you. So definitely check out the different platforms. You know, you can find some of the things we're doing at Stewart-Isaacs.com. That's Stewart with a dash Isaacs.com. It'll get some more information about how you can book someone like myself for a great opportunity to empower your next audiences, whether in corporate or in the school systems. We're ready to do our work. And so that's what we like to do is empower. You know, you got anything else you want to tell these people we out here doing? That's the whole point of Sunday Stacks. We tell you how it stacks up week for week.
Well, what I appreciate about what you shared with your work as a motivational speaker, that was our first official encounter outside of meeting one another, but hearing your story, hearing the power and energy that you've been able to utilize as a self-motivator to mobilize when there wasn't. You were addressing innovation when things were just new and you were disrupting at such an early age, long before this language that's so common to us today would have been able to tell your story or articulate it, even in your Black Enterprise article. So I celebrate the service that you give to the industry, to the community, to lift up your services as a motivational speaker. You need that in your kitchen, everyone, and you also need it to the communities you're trying to target. So definitely look him up and check him out, and I can co-sign as someone that has seen him in action and walked with him and seen his own development story come to life. It's just incredible and life-changing.
Oh, well, they're going to say, well, that's his wife. She going to say that. She's supposed to say that. Nah,
I
but
got receipts, Sunday Stacks 2015.
hey, tell them the truth. We've been doing this 9 years strong, y'all. Y'all wouldn't even believe it's not even just Sunday Stacks as a second season here as a podcast, but our history started in HBCUs. It started on college radio. It was an opportunity for us to come together and really create a new spark between me and Shemekka in our lives. And we were we were both divorcees who met each other in community, for those who know our story. Mm-hmm. A lot of it plays out on our social media, so definitely check out all our social media platforms, things we've pinned and those kind of things, because we like to just really let people see the full journey. Because sometimes I always see, especially in the community or in business, people like, how long have you been doing what you're doing? And you hit them with stuff like, well, technically 25 years, but together with Shemekka and Sunday Stacks and I Am Brilliant, we've been doing this for 9 years, y'all. 9 years. 9 years of watching the development of the brilliance of so many people within our community. When we say Brilliant Bunch, it's something we affectionately like to call our family, because our connection similar to the Brady Bunch, because it was hers, mine, and ours that brought our families together. And then we have our 2 youngins that we are rearing together. But we're just definitely in a position where we see that the Brilliant Bunch is becoming this audience that we're growing. It's all of you out there. It's all of you that enjoy Sunday Stacks and all these platforms that we're continuing to share this story and this journey. It's new to us every day, y'all. So don't think there's some secret formula here or we acting like we better. Okay. Nah, we work through this every day. We pray through it all.
We like adventures. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Even when our adventure is every day together.
Yeah, and waking up, like I said, just giving the glory to the one that's going to lead you to a good day, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we're just continuing to center a lot of the growth and how we build up. And like I said, being here part of the live network to really just have even more of a platform to touch and connect with the people has been an honor. Shemekka's she's so modest. She has so many amazing products. She's a spiritual author, phenomenal books right now. She has her latest book, Sanctuary Life, as well as the author While I'm Getting Naked. Yes, she is like a poetic author that really is able to write books that are almost the perfect size for the reader out there in this day and age. But not only that, each word is so well crafted and chosen to really hit so deep into the soul. I can't even explain it more than that. So I really want to make sure you all check out her books. You can get them all at Shemekka.com if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Please do. We work hard on what we're building. And so, that's the point of Sunday Stacks is week for week. We want to tell you not only how it stacks up. So many, podcasts and series out there will tell you about things going on in the marketplace or the ills of our communities and political things. And we try to give you a mix of all of those awarenesses. But at the same time, as individuals that have already put our lives under the microscope. The New York Times literally documented every receipt in our life to put us in the midst of how we were surviving during the pandemic. And even then we were showing people how we invested. We were showing people how we were able to ration and hold back and really do things to take care of our 6 children and really be mindful of how we co-parent even with their other parents. It was so much that we were able to reveal and still manage to keep our businesses growing in a way that we are finding contracts and really just aligning with the needs of the marketplace in a way that brought nuance and thought leadership. And that's the beauty of what we've been able to put together. And with Sunday Stacks, we want to give you that impact and some thesis of how it can really be possible. I know a lot of our listeners are already doing amazing things out there. That's what we celebrate in this I Am Brilliant movement. But Sunday Stacks is a reinforcement that you, with your family, your community and company should always be reinforcing this blessing of what it is to really be a blessing to others in the world in real time, in 3D, So, you got any insights you want to say to the people before we jump into the topic of today?
I want to just remind people, something I dropped this week was around Name Your Label, which is in While I'm Getting Naked. We also have that in an album. So While I'm Getting Naked Part 1, you can actually find online as well. That was released. So I want to lift that up as a resource for this week. For those that are too busy to read, pop it in, add it to your list, and look at how you can lift up naming labels, things that are holding you back, things that you carry that are heavy. I want to enter a space that we can walk in some liberation today as we're stacking this week, is to be mindful of the labels that you carry, and measure out the ones that may be carrying too much weight for the return on investment.
I love that energy, and just name your labels, y'all. Like, we got to really start to put a name to it. So as we like to transition, we always like to have different topics that we talk about. So thank y'all for always allowing us to introduce who we are, so you really understand what you're getting here and who we are as hosts here at Sunday Stacks. We wanted to utilize season 2 to set the stage of what we've done over 9+ years, as well as who we are and grow. One of the things we have is a phenomenal segment we like to call here at Sunday Stacks. We call it Divorce Talks. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Divorce Talks. So introducing Divorce Talk throughout season 1, Shemekka and I have always had this thought that we wanted to do a big old conference to get people together and talk about this thing called divorce. But we said, hey, why not do it now on this platform called Sunday Stats? We got now and today. We don't waste no time. And we want to set up divorce talks in a different way, not to create that scary thing that makes people think, is my marriage in jeopardy, or those things that people don't want to talk about because of prenups and all these different concepts that would lead to people breaking up. But what we like to do is talk through things. So we create scenarios that allow for us to really just more so create avoidance of divorce, things that will allow for us to talk through some things. Right. I mean, we used to watch these Nigerian Nollywood movies because they be having the best premises, y'all. Hey, shout out to the Nollywood movies out there. They had the best premises to make you think through some scenarios that you could go through in a relationship. So for those ain't checking them out, a plug for Netflix. Hopefully they'll become a sponsor. But yes, definitely check them out on Netflix. They are always amazing, thought-provoking projects. But what we're bringing to you today in Divorce Talks is a unique topic that we going hashtag. We're calling it hashtag wasbins, hashtag jives. Now, let me break this down to you. Hashtag wasbins and hashtag jives. Okay. So wasbins are men that are in your ladies' lives that used to be friends, close acquaintances, but someone who's not quite her husband, but she gives husbandly advice and energy to every now and then because of the connection they still bear. So we're going to label them wasbins.
The wasbins.
Now, jives, we're going to relate it to job wives, right? So those are the women in the man's life that, just like at a job, a man gets used to his woman, see all these qualities, this and that and third. But in his lady, she probably got her husband or someone else. But at work, y'all do all those sweet things and give all the niceties and get the coffee and then helping and being helpful. But you don't necessarily always do that at home. So we're just bringing these concepts together as wasbins and jives. And we sometimes call this in the past, when it comes to more relational people, we call them substitute teachers. Here in Divorce Talks, right?
All right now.
But in this particular instance, we ain't going to consider the wasbins and the jives substitute teachers, because these ain't necessarily people that your significant other have any romantic relationship with.
Shouldn't.
This is just more so a person who gets certain emotional energy or time with or conversational energy with these people. And sometimes I get a little lonely. That's for the husbands watching those wasbins get that attention that, sometimes you want as a husband, you know what I'm saying? So, just thinking through that, I'm curious, audience, has anyone out here experienced the feeling of being a wasbin? This is for the men out there, right? Now, Shemekka, I'm going to let you talk to the women to talk about these jives that are out there. But I'm talking to the fellas right now. And fellas, do you have the moments when you see the men that are old friends, old colleagues, somebody that's your wife done got affectionate with, but they ain't messing around, but they're a little too close?
Wasbins.
The wasbins. But at the same time, you as a husband's like, I get a little lonely. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to let them come in the comments and talk about that. Tell some stories. We want to hear some stories because we want to unpack this a little bit more. But we just want to pose these thoughts to you because that's what we are, thought leaders. We want you to think differently about these situations. Any comments about jives out there, Shemekka?
I will say that having jives around is it's very unique to men, I think, because they will fall into that fantasy and live into it very deeply and fully committed, more so maybe more committed to than the actual one that they're living this life out with. And that's kind of where the trap is. It's a wedge, it's an open door, and it's a danger zone. When you think about, I guess, feeling what you would translate as lonely, I think maybe on the other side, being on the receiving end of seeing another man engage with a woman, a jive. There could be jealousy or insecurities that lift up. I heard you call it loneliness. It could be the same translation.
Oh, it's them giggles you get that you don't necessarily get. You don't feel like you get them giggles when y'all be talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear them giggles. You hear them giggles.
Listen,
I get. You know what I'm saying?
I remember, and I don't know if this would fit, but I remember being with my ex-husband and there being like a stark difference in who he was at home and who he was at work. And so I remember one of his coworkers coming up to me saying, "Oh my gosh, how can you just be married to him? He is so funny. He just has us rolling all the time." And I looked at him like, who is she talking about? Because I don't get this. Like, where is that one at?
And she's talking about her ex, y'all. That's the substitute teacher, y'all. That ain't me. The current phenomenon, you know. We're talking about the substitute teacher.
But to that example, if you're living a completely different life in one environment than you are the other, or you have to be secretive in hiding how you are with another person, the jive or the husband, when it gets secretive and private, then it could be a vibe of crossing the line. So you want to be mindful of that when you're exploring this conversation in your relationship, that this could be an opportunity for transparency if this has been an issue, or this could be a good segue into if you're having some challenges or insecurities in this area, that play this episode, yo, and like be like, "Hey boo, let's talk." Like,
but right now, y'all can leave some information in these comments for us. Let us know what your thoughts are on the husbands and the jives. You know, we are here to bring you some energy on this here live podcast network.
Talk prevention.
Sunday Stacks will bring it to you. We definitely have a lot of things to continue the thought-provoking nature, but we got a lot to talk about. And this is our next transition segment we like to call the Whiz of the Week, Whiz of the Week. Yes, the Whiz of the Week is back, and I mean, it's just coming and coming. I call this time of the year controversy season, and controversy is coming back to back to back, whether it's cases in the headlines in courts or things going on in the streets. There are headlines all over the place. We got free Marilyn Mosby going on in the world. We got Donny from the block. We got death to our Iranian president by plane wrecks. We got so many things happening in the media. I mean, we can't even keep our attention to this. I mean, I literally feel like hearing people say, "Man, I find more peace when I turn all this foolishness off." Mm-hmm. But the Whiz of the Week is jam-packed, and we got to talk about it, y'all. So let's start with the Marilyn Mosby case. Free Marilyn Mosby. So many things this young lady has gone through. A prosecutor doing her job in the city of Baltimore to create some level of equality, equity, you know, right and wrongs that have been done so long that people have gotten away with. Y'all understand, y'all know about what happened with Freddie Gray. Y'all talk about, we know about these histories, but now it comes to the point where the prosecutors too can be prosecuted if people find that people are doing things inappropriate. And in this instance, we had a young lady who was simply working through a pandemic, through God knows what challenges, making moves with her own money. And somehow they said that was funny. How do we get to this place, y'all? How do we get to the place where we create these levels of waste of the taxpayers' money and distractions to the point where we want to be vindictive with things that were meant to create justice? We're now weaponizing the legal system. And let's not transition just to Marilyn Mosby, because we forget another way that the legal system is currently supposed to be doing its job. But we got old Donny from the block. Oh, yes, Donny from the block. Donald J. Trump, former president, 45, as some of us call him out there, and still running again as the convict number 45, running for president once again. Going against what he titled Sleepy Joe. He called him Crooked Joe. I mean, this man had gone into the middle of the Bronx, gathering with the audience. People give it all different numbers of sizes, but it looked small to me because the camera shot I saw, even on Fox News, was very tight. But still, people came out to hear what this man went to do, which sounded like ranting about his career, his life, his time of transitioning from a real estate mogul to a TV host. And I mean, he just went into just reminding people in regards to his celebrity, but never talked about any real issues and really showboated a bunch of locals that truly want to see some change that they don't feel they're getting from the other side. But at the same time, Donald Trump has a way of parading people to utilize and use them for image purposes because he knows the image is stronger sometimes than what has actually been said. And he's trying to create something where he's getting false support and narratives from men, particularly black men, who I know we up for grabs. I know we looking good out here. Yeah, black men looking good out here. They want us. Oh, yeah, they chasing us, but they doing it in the wrong kind of way. Let me say that again. You doing it in the wrong kind of way. You trying to get black men because you still think we ignorant, you think we inferior, and we got to change that narrative, whether it be whatever party that is talking to us. You've never had expectations for someone you stole from where they came from. And yet we still came here with value on us. And we still have that value. I tell that all the time. Us as black men, black women, the value that you were brought here with, documented value, has never left you. And that's the first thing we need to reclaim in this, not just financial literacy movement, but knowing who you are. You're the only people that came to this country with value attached to you. That value ain't going nowhere. So one thing I want these people out here in the electric out there, we need to get leaders that really start to see that and see it. And if we got to be those leaders, it's time for us as black men, black women, as people to step up. Those who have righteous hearts, those who have good souls. I don't care what your race, color, creed is. Understand we all got something purposeful to give to the world, and we need to start uplifting the least of us to not necessarily be better than someone, to be at an equal ground, to live as they choose to, but at the same time live with a righteous spirit that they want to create value in the world as they live. And I think that's something that is an easy deal make right there for me in regards to how we approach this next season. I looked at politicians this week to go back and forth of whether or not they want to honor someone who died. Our Iranian president died. Now I don't know none of that extra politics beyond they call him an enemy, but a leader died. And if we had any of our leaders pass, we would want to be honored, said something to create peace. What are we trying to do? Stay at perpetual war? Or are we trying to show that we have hearts and we have the greater moral integrity that we're trying to create peace, to simply honor someone who passed? Unless there's more going on there, but I'll leave that for you all to figure out. But so much in our news that could be distracting us. So much Diddy stories out there that will continue to come out. But here at Wizard of the Week, we always give you these things to think through. But we want you to think about it differently. Open your mind. And even if you got to shut it off, shut it off. We just let you know we paying attention, but we also ignoring it at the same time, maintaining our own mental peace. So I'll let Shemekka give you some of her thoughts as we think through these ways we can better pray for our world.
Absolutely. And I will lift this in solidarity with Marilyn Mosby in something that was so powerful for her this week that she shared was this powerful scripture. It's my favorite scripture, but it says in Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. I leave that with you today for you to sit into that space of what does it mean to trust in the Lord for you this week.
A great reflection point that we just need to just take a moment to just think through and really just reflect on how we continue to get our mindsets together. And that's what we want to continue to inspire around here, is just a different way to perceive what you're going through, what you're seeing in the world, and a way to still process it with the right mindset of brilliance that you need to stay on your impact focus on how you focus on your family, your community, and your company, and watch how the world starts to look so much better every day. Anything else you want to shout out to the people as we wrap up the show today?
Peace and blessings, everyone. And if you really like what we're talking about and this is a vibe for you, consider downloading the Alive Podcast Network
Yes.
app and subscribing. Your seed, your direct contribution as a subscriber at any level would come back into our business and seed into the Alive Podcast Network. So we love your partnership and we welcome you to join us.
We thank you, and there's so many platforms. We'll continue to give you our links. If you're checking out on YouTube, you'll see some links in the description. But definitely leave your comments. We look forward to continue to connect with you all. Thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Sunday Stacks to hear how it stacks up for us and how all these different segments hopefully have impacted your life. My name is Michael Stewart-Isaacs.
And I'm Shemekka, Ebony.
And this is Sunday Stacks. We'll see you next week. And as we close every episode, we always say, I am brilliant, and you are too. Take care, and thank you for watching and listening. Peace.